It's ringing.
Hello.
Hey, Axel, how you doing? It's Rick Staff from Hardcore Wrestling Radio.
Hey, man.
Hey, how you doing tonight?
Good, good, good.
Hey,
Good.
Axel, you probably remember me. I'm Double B Billy Boudreaux, formerly with WGS Radio. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys? How's everything going tonight?
We're doing good. We also have Andy here. You also know Andy from Facebook. He's the one who you were talking to.
That's right, Andy. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. I've got some good news for you, actually, Axel. I've spoken to a guy from UK All-Star Wrestling. I've passed
All
your
right.
details on, and hopefully
Okay.
he should get in touch, reference or trying to do some promotions for you in the UK. So hopefully that'll
Wonderful.
come good for you. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Wonderful.
You're very welcome.
Thanks, man. I've been being contacted by a few different people, but they haven't been able to put anything together yet. I was trying to tell them they could work together, even if they were running in different parts of the country, to try to make their shows within a couple days of one another. I could do them all at one time.
Nice. Well, if you do come to the UK, I run a paranormal investigation group, and I would love to have you to come on one of our investigations and see if we could scare you like you scare the fans.
That would be wonderful. I would love to do that.
Hey, you promised you would only show that picture of me without my shirt on only one time, Andy.
Well, that's Hardcore Wrestling Radio for you. We got a bit of a sense of humor here. We're gonna let Billy start off the questions here since he was cool enough to give you a call. So, Billy,
Yeah.
the floor is yours. Well, thanks, Axel. Well, now we're going to turn the questions over to the son of a bitch, Andy. Andy, over to you.
Hello,
I'm
nice
here.
to talk to you again, Axel. And one
Hey,
question.
Andy, go ahead, brother.
There's one sensitive question I want to hit on for the people who are listening.
Wait a minute. Well, Andy, who's it sensitive for, me or you? Because nothing's off limits with me, so I'm not sensitive. If you're a sensitive guy and you're going to shed tears when you answer this question, maybe you should answer it.
Yeah, I'm going to spit it out and give it to you as it comes. Our first conversation we had on Facebook was I basically said to you how shocked I was to see that you'd suffered from a bout of Bell's palsy after watching the barbed wire DVD. And I'd just like to know how it's affected your life now and how are you feeling present day. I saw one of your YouTube videos yesterday and saw you are, I wouldn't say 100% yet, but you jokingly took your glasses off and said, that's why I'm wearing glasses, not because I want to look cool, because I've got like one eye is not working properly and the side of your face had all gone. So I was just wondering how you're feeling today and how has it affected your life, and good luck to you. Hope everything clears up and you get yourself back on track. That's the first question.
Okay, well, thanks, Andy. That's a very thorough and good question, by the way. Not that everyone else has it, too. This has been a great show. I've enjoyed everything you guys have been talking about, and the questions have been great. Andy, the thing with the Bell's palsy is, if those of you that don't know what we're talking about, if you're a wrestling fan, it's the affliction that hit Jim Ross as to why his face is paralyzed on one side. Well, I have the same thing. And to be quite honest with you, it's a very humbling experience, especially when you're involved in such a cosmetic industry where everyone bases a lot of their opinions on how you look and how you sound.
Yeah.
And I'm very sensitive about that because, I was in an accident. I had like 2 teeth knocked out, and I had that Bell's palsy. So I'm really sensitive about my look. So I not that I was ever a great looking, chill, handsome anyway, but I mean, we may not be the best shapes in the world, but I try to do the best I can with what I've got. And I'm working hard to get back. I just read, that taking the right minerals and vitamins help. But as far as wrestling goes, competing in the ring, I can do anything I want, as far as that goes, but I know now that, you know, for so many years I thought I was superhuman. I was out there, you know, getting thrown through tables, getting beaten with barbed wire, getting lit on fire, and then this kind of thing happens to you, and you wake up the next morning and you can't close your eye, and you know, half of your face is frozen. And you have to just learn to adapt, Andy. That's the thing. I mean, what do you say to guys that are coming back from the Middle East and they don't have a leg and they get a prosthetic and they have to learn to walk again? What I have to do is learn to talk again, learn to use my mouth in a different way, learn to use my eyes in a different way. Here's the one thing I will say that I've improved. As you said, I'm not 100%, but from the time that you saw in that video to now, excuse me, from the time you saw it on the DVD of whatever that damn movie is. How's it called again?
The barbed wire.
Help me out.
Yeah, the barbed wire one. I can't remember what it's fully called.
Documentary.
Yeah.
Barbed Wire City.
That's the one.
Yeah, Barbed Wire. Barbed Wire City. I'm much better from even that point to now. Basically, most people can't even notice it unless I tell them, you know, because I've learned, I massage my face in my own kind of physical therapy with my cheeks and stuff like that. And now that I've learned what vitamins to take, I'll probably get back, God willing, to better than I was, you know, over the last couple months. And hopefully pretty soon it'll be back to 100%. But if it never goes back to the way it was, you know, I won't say I'm fine with it, but, you know, I'll learn to adapt to live with it because God doesn't give people anything more than they can handle. And, you know, I've heard a friend of mine say this applies to me, because God doesn't give people any more than they can handle, but I sure wish he didn't think I was so fucking strong, because he keeps giving me a lot of shit. But, you know, we just keep moving forward and keep doing the right thing. I think if you put one foot in front of the other, man, and always stay positive, and it's hard to do. I mean, I wake up, I'm human, man. I wake up every morning, you know, with my back aching, my scars all over my body, my hips hurt, my knees hurt, my ankle hurts. But you got to wake up and look at the ceiling and go, all right, what am I going to do? Am I going to lay here, feel sorry for myself, or am I going to get up and do something? You know, and it's your decision. You can lay there and do nothing, or you can get up and try to make the best of your day and what you have with it. And that's what I try to do now, Andy. I try to do the best with what I have and have the best time I can every day.
Well, that's a great attitude, and hopefully everything will work out for you in the end. Another question regarding which you've just hit on there. How did you, Ian, come up with the idea of the Type A death matches? How was it? How did it come about? Was it just a conversation one night, and then you thought, let's give it a try?
Actually, no. I have to give Ian total credit on the Type A death match. I had no input on that at all. We were riding up to the show in a car, and he goes, I think the exact quote was, "Hey, Axeman, let me ask you a question." I'm like, "Yeah, what's up, dude?" How about this, Daddy? You know, how about we take like they did in that movie, Kickboxer or Bloodsport 1? I mean, because I don't remember. It was one of those karate movies, and they dipped their hands in glue and then smeared them in blood and glass and fought each other. I was looking over at him and said, what the hell, I'll do it. And we got to the show, and we did, I think, a strap match, and Paul goes to us and goes, all right, guys, what can we do next to further the feud? And Ian goes, I got it, Dan. How about we do this tie death match? And Paul's like, what is that? And Ian went on to explain to him, he goes, sounds fucking crazy, but go ahead and try it. And we just did it the next month. And I'll tell you this, it sure as hell must have fucking worked, because it's almost 15 years later, and people still talk about that match. And they still show it to their kids and their friends. It's going down in wrestling history. So, I mean, I feel kind of good to know that long after I'm gone, a little piece of my brutal legacy will live on. So that's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I actually showed the video, both matches, 1 and 2, to my partner, and she hadn't seen them before, and she was just blown away. How much blood there was, and just how much passion there was at the end.
Yeah, people genuinely get that response. And the thing was, the one we did a couple weeks ago, there's this girl who sent me a message. She'd never seen wrestling before, and her thing was, like, she took a picture of it, she posted it on her fucking Facebook page, and her post underneath was, what the fuck? She goes, I went to a wrestling show and this is what happened. You know, and she goes, like, any of you guys that watch like Monday Night Raw or SmackDown and you don't go see like IWA Mid-South, you guys are missing out on what's happening out there. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. And the thing is, people see those types of matches are generally shocked because they don't expect to see that level of brutality from guys, you know, that they're sitting right in front of. And the matches that you saw, which was the first one in the ECW arena, here's something that I don't sit around and try to run up the flagpole, but I'll just say it to you guys. Everyone talks about being hardcore icons, innovative with violence, the extreme legend, this, that, and the other. When it comes right down to it, the first guy to do thumbtacks in the ECW arena was Axl Rotten. The first guy to do barbed wire, baseball bat in the ECW arena, the first guy to use a baseball bat in the ECW arena was Axl Rotten. The first guy to use barbed wire board was Axl Rotten. The first guy to do all that stuff was Axl Rotten. I don't have to have any goofy title or anything. I just want to be Axl Rotten. That's all I want to do. So myself and Ian did all that stuff long before anybody else ever dreamed of doing it. But we don't sit around telling everyone, you know, give us credit for being a funny little story about it, tell me the little story, and know that I go out there every night to bust my ass for the people to pay money to see me perform. Whether it's a hardcore match, a soft porn match, you know, PG-13, NC-17, a rated X PG match, I don't care, as long as the fans are having a good time, because when it comes down to the bottom line, if you're not entertaining the people, and the people, when it comes down to it, are my boss, because if they don't come to the matches, the promoter's not going to book me, and I'm not going to get paid. So it's all about the fans.
Soft porn.
Yeah, you like that?
I need a Tylenol now.
So you kind of hit a little bit of a soft spot with Billy.
Another
I mean, it's not Skinamax. It's not Skinamax, Billy. I'm talking about some softcore porn, you know, bam, you know, the good stuff.
Another quick question. You don't have to believe everything you hear and see on the internet, but over the last couple of years, I've been following you, and I've been following bits and bobs on Ian, and I don't know whether they've been works or shoots or he's run his mouth off, or he's had a bad fallout with Ian and Axel, and they don't speak anymore, and there's a bit of animosity there. I was just wondering, is it all a work? Is it a shoot? What is your relationship like with Ian today?
That's a shoot.
That's
a shoot. You got to remember. Well, let me explain to you why. Because, by the way, softcore just means you don't see the money shot. But anyway, the thing with Ian is like, I trained him, and I've known him for I don't know how long now. So we are literally like brothers. And if you guys have family, you know you get in an argument with them. You don't talk to them for a month. You don't talk to them for 3 months. And then you talk to them again. And
yeah.
You go over to his house for Thanksgiving. The next year, you don't go over to his house for Thanksgiving. That's just the way it works when you've been around somebody for so long. Ian and I lived together. We traveled up and down the road together. We shared hotel rooms for years together. I mean, we are, you know, friends and enemies at the same time. But when it boils right down to it, you know, people can say what they want about him, and I can say what I want about him, but you know, lately he's been doing nothing but the last show he did was tremendous, and I'm just going to judge people by what they're doing now, because I don't think if you keep holding up people to what they did before, you're looking backwards, and life's happening in front of you, which is forward. So I don't like to look backwards.
Yeah. One more question before I hand it over to one of the other guys. On the ECW One Night Stand pay-per-view, were you? I'm sure you were. I don't think you actually had a match, but I think you had a run out at some point.
Right.
The rumours are on the internet again, and there's no definitive proof that Bradshaw's supposed to give Blue Meanie a bit of a black eye, and there was a bit of a tussle in the locker room. Is that true?
Absolutely. He didn't give him a bit of a black eye. He busted his skull open.
Shit.
A bit more of a black eye. But here's the thing. I don't know where that story goes, but I'll say this. Bradshaw JBL is a guy that I think, you know, pretty much you can do 6 degrees of separation with Axl Rotten and get yourself to any wrestler in the world, because Bradshaw and I, JP Allen lived in the same apartment complex. I helped teach him at the Sportatorium in Dallas, Texas. We worked out together, trained together, we went out to eat at all-you-can-eat buffets together. And John's not going to be the guy that's just going to beat you up for no reason. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I think Meanie must have given him a reason, or JBL thought he gave him a reason, and he took it. Now, I don't know if I agree with in those confines where you got 25 guys in one ring and there's no room to move, and you just start potatoing somebody and shooting on him, and then he doesn't know what's coming. That's never really been my style. You know, that's me. You know, if that's what John thought he had to do, maybe that's what he thought he had to do. But, you know, that's their thing. They've gotten it worked out since then, and, you know, that's on them. But that's just something that did happen, and it's 100% true.
Did it get really nasty in the locker room after it had gone off air, or was it all calmed down by then and people went their own separate ways, or did it continue?
Yeah. No, it wasn't calmed down at all. It wasn't calmed down at all by then, and it just started. I mean, it just started in the ring. So when they got back in the dressing room, of course, Meanie wasn't willing to fight nobody, because I don't think Meanie could punch his way out of a wet paper bag. But,
yeah.
He was just kind of shocked that had happened to him, and I would concur with him on that too. If I were Meanie and someone just jumped me like that, you know, you gotta look at Meanie's point of view. He wasn't a contract player at that time. He wasn't, you know, he could have easily gotten in a lot of trouble. What happened if JBL would have started beating the heck out of Meanie, and all the ECW guys would have ganged up on JBL and beat the hell out of him, and then Meanie would have got in trouble. So I think Meanie tried to do the best thing he could for business and just get out of there. And then as it turns out, he ended up getting a little bit extra out of it anyway. So they brought him back to do a couple things, and JBL had to put him over on television. So watch what you do, because sometimes, you know, you have to get a feedback for that.
Yeah, something will come back and bite you in the ass. But I know on one of the RF shoot interviews,
yeah, exactly.
He was still very bitter about it. But he says at the end, like you've just said yourself there, at the end of the day, I'm not a fighter. I'm not gonna call him out. I'm just gonna say it like it is. He stiffed me in the ring, and that's not professional.
Exactly. That's what I said. I don't think that's the place where you do that kind of stuff. But there's been times, as I said earlier, we were talking about it, where, you know, you get in the ring with someone that doesn't know what they're doing, and if you don't take control of the situation, that'll make you look bad. But this is a situation where I think JBL knows full well that Meanie knows how to work, he knows how to wrestle. He didn't have to do that to him, but that's between them, and that's not for me to speak on, because all I'm doing is giving an opinion. I'm not stating any fact.
Yeah. Because I fully agree with what you're saying, because if you're fighting somebody that doesn't know how to take it or how to do any wrestling moves whatsoever, it puts your career in jeopardy, because they could do something foolish and put you out of the business forever.
Sure. I mean, there's a golden rule when, you know, you're wrestling guys that don't know how to work. You just don't ever leave your feet and keep your back to the ropes, because that way they can't hurt you.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll throw it round to one of the other guys who's probably sitting there with bated breath waiting to ask you a question, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate your questions.
No problem.
Can I ask this question to Axel? Axel, were there any repercussions stemming from that incident that night?
None that I was aware of. There were later repercussions, I think, on JBL, because I think Vince brought Meanie back sort of as an act of good faith, so hey, he wouldn't sue him, you know, because I think there may have been some rumblings of, you know, he was taken advantage of in the ring, and from what I understand, Vince brought him back and, you know, paid him pretty well for a couple months or so to kind of stem off a lawsuit. And again, this is just a rumor. I don't know. I can't take fact of that. If you imagine, you have to ask the Meanie. But Brian's one of those guys that's one of the easiest going guys in the world. And the funny thing is, the same can be said about JBL. I personally have never had a problem with JBL, ever. We have laughed and joked and, you know, worked each other a million times in Texas. And when I came up there to WWE, he was nothing but gracious to me. He was nice, you know, but not everybody gets along with everybody. You got to remember, you're looking at 50 to 100 guys 150 guys in a locker room. That's just the dynamic of life. You know, you're not going to get along with everybody that you're sitting with. That's just the way it is. I mean, if we all sat around the table, all of us right here on this show right now, in about 10 or 15 minutes, we'd all start formulating opinions about one another and doing character assassinations on each other. You know, saying, oh, that guy's going bald, that guy's fat, that guy's got a tooth knocked out, that guy's skinny, that guy's got bad breath. You know, that's what happens in the real world. So the same thing happens in wrestling. Guys just don't get along.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, that's understandable. All right, we're gonna pass things over to Will. Will. Awesome.
I heard you do. I heard you do. I prompted them to ask you that question. I heard you do that on one of your shoot interviews, and I fell off my couch laughing.
Yeah, I do a million of them, man. I do just tons of impressions. I just like it. I'll tell you what, Andy. Get back to your question. With the Bell's palsy, I've had it's tough to do a lot of the impressions that I used to do because you know you need to enunciate and change your voice, and not having full control of the right side of my mouth makes it difficult to, you know, come up with some of the different type of pacing of the voice and the deepness and the things like that. So it's hard to do. Like sometimes when I do my Mac and Dream Dusty Rhodes, baby, talk about the blue of the wood. Let's go to the 3-time World Heavyweight Champion, Jack, the one and only Stampede. Broadcast Stampede, you know what I'm talking about, Miss Elizabeth, talking about her, Randy Macho Man Savage. You want to get in on my sweet Sapphire? Let's talk about it, baby. Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's tough to do a lot of those impressions now because I don't have full control of my jaws. But I used to do tons of them.
I need it.
I tell you, one of the people you need to kick ass. I'm a big RF video shoot buyer. I buy all of them. I get every single one, and hopefully the money goes to the right sort of people. But I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. A lot of the guys in the wrestling business, the boys, the quote unquote wrestlers, like one guy, I won't tell you his name just because, he's a former WWE multi-time heavyweight champion, the first ever world heavyweight champion. He said, man, your shoot interviews are the best I've ever seen. He said, because you don't just bury someone for no reason. He goes, you tell the truth about everybody and yourself. He goes, you've seen so many guys go out there, and I'm not going to mention any names. All they'll do is say, fuck this guy, fuck that guy, fuck this guy, fuck that guy. This guy's a motherfucker, this guy. But they don't tell you why. They just bury people. Well, you know, I like to tell the stories behind why I'm saying that stuff. And a lot of the boys in the business have said, man, the way you do it is the way it should be done. And that's, you know, I don't have a problem making myself look bad because, trust me, if anyone can make themselves look bad, it's me. I'm very good at it.
Yeah, because I recently watched the one that you did, I think it was 2006 with Raven, and that was a good interview. And what I was going to say is, for us British fans, I've had a great deal of difficulty. I think you did your last one in 2012. I've had a great deal of difficulties to try and purchase that one. When I do speak to RF Video, they're not very happy about sending it to the UK because of the import duties. And next time you speak to RF Video, tell them get the finger out. There's a fan in the UK that's got all their videos, but he can't get his favourite one, right. Axl Rotten video, the last one you did.
Well,
it's really knocking me.
The last one I did, to be honest, was the one me and Raven, and there's another one by myself where I'm wearing like the same shirt. That was shot in 2010, I think.
Yeah, that's the one. I've got the one with you and Raven. I've got the one where you're on your own, and I've also got a very early one where you've got an orange T-shirt on and you're sitting in, it looks like someone's house in front of a PC. That's probably 1990-something. That's a really early one where you've got your blonde hair.
I have a big bottle of Coke with me and stuff.
Yes. And you pull a DVD out of your bag. You pull a DVD out of your bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got them all apart from the very last one. The very last one, I just can't get for love nor money, but I will get it eventually.
Yeah, if you don't get it, I'll get it and send it to you personally, or maybe I'll have the luck of handing it to you when I see you with some of these promoters in the UK get off of their butt and get me booked over there. Because I'll tell you, not just you, Andy, I get it all the time on Twitter and on Facebook. the fans were like, God, we'd love to see you come over here. We're starved for it. We had never. I've been there one time, and that was in 1991, and that's how long it's been. And people are like begging for me to come back, but all these promoters are like, well, how much you charge and how much? I'm like, look, dude, you're gonna make it back, and I can make it back for you in doing seminars with your students, and we split the money, all this other kind of stuff. There's tons of ways to make money off of me while I'm there, not just think of one show, one match. You got to think of, if I'm there, I can do a class with your students, charge them X amount of pounds or whatever the money translation is, and we can split the money. That way you make some of the money back right there. So there's tons of ways to do it, but
they would definitely make that. If
they just don't do it.
If you were on a wrestling card in the UK, they'd make their money 10 times over. Even if you weren't wrestling, just to make a guest appearance. Going back about 10 years ago, I can remember Tommy Dreamer coming to the UK, and he had a match, and it was like Hulk Hogan walking in the arena. The roof completely blew off when Tommy Dreamer walked in.
Yeah.
I could only imagine what it would be like if UK.
That's what the fans say, man. That's what they tell me, Andy. I've heard it from, I hate to say this, literally hundreds of people between Facebook messages and tweets, because I mentioned sporadically, hey, I'm talking to a promoter in the UK, and as soon as I say that, boom, when are you coming over, 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 and I'm like, this one guy last year was like, I got a date, I have everything, he had everything set, I don't even remember his name, but I talked to him on the telly, as a matter of fact, we talked on the phone, and he's like, okay, everything's set, no problem, and he's never called me back, and the next thing you know, his number was disconnected, so... I don't know what the scene is like over there if there's like that many small time promotions just pop up and close, but he must have been one of those guys.
Yeah. Like I say, I'll be still going to keep pushing for you, and hopefully one day when you do come over to this side of the woods, I'll hold you to that dinner date.
Yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, well, like I said, we got to make Axel's Army grow to an international force, man. So far, I've only hit United States, Japan, and Puerto Rico. We've got to get Axel's Army, over in the UK. We've got to get it in Germany. We've got to get it all over Europe. And I think the promoters are so. A lot of times the promoters are also wrestlers, and they're so afraid to bring in somebody that's going to be more over than them. They just don't do it.
That's a true statement, because there's a lot of UK wrestlers who think they are the bee's knees, and they tend to, the knees tend to turn to jelly when you say, oh, I've got Axel's phone number, and they're like, oh no, they're better than I am, and they don't want that. I don't know why they should be that way, because at the end of the day, you're in it to make money, you're in it to put a roof over your head and pay for the clothes that you wear, and so are they. And bringing you over, they're going to sell 10 times the amount of tickets they normally would, so I don't really see what the issue is.
I don't know either. And the thing is, we'll just keep plugging away with it, man. And as I said, on your side, if you can do anything or put me in touch with anyone else, like I said, let's keep moving it forward. But I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep trying to get wherever I can go, man. If it happens to be Europe or Japan again or anything, if the doors are wide open, I'm just going to keep pushing away, man. That's what I do. I wrestle. I love doing it. I've done it my entire life. And until God tells me I can't do it anymore, I'm going to keep doing it,
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm not going to embarrass myself, and go out there and look pathetic doing it. But if I can still physically feel well and get to the shape that I want to be in, I'm going to continue to perform. And I'll know when it's time to quit, and I'll put the brakes on and say thanks because, I'm physically not capable of doing it. But right now, I'm feeling good. I'm ready to get back to training hard, losing some weight, get back in the gym, and start wrestling as much as I can. I think it'll be great. I still have tons of interest everywhere I go. I always sell tons of merchandise, and I always get great response from the people. So, obviously, the people still want to see me. And when they stop buying my pictures and stop applauding for me, I'll stop doing it. And as long as they're doing it, I'm going to keep coming and showing up.
Yeah, well, I'll keep pushing it as much as I can on this side, and I'll keep you up to date with what's going on with my annoying instant messages to you on Facebook. But I'll keep you up to date, and hopefully one day you will cross the water, and our paths will cross, and it'll be a pleasure to meet you.
We do have one
Absolutely.
more person we'd like to ask some questions. We do have the incomparable Lance.
Nice.
Sure.
What?
All right.
You just
Go ahead, Andy.
you just mentioned Chris Benoit. Now I know it's a sensitive subject, but how did you feel when you heard the news about the tragedy of the Benoit family? How did you feel in yourself? Did it affect you in
I was
any way?
very sad. I was actually very, very sad because, that's not the Chris Benoit that I knew. That's not the guy that when I knew him in ECW was just the most kindest, most sincere, soft soul you'd ever want to meet. He was a very nice guy, and I got to know him over the years. Knew him when he was in WCW, and knew Nancy when she was married to Kevin Sullivan. I met the youngster. Chris brought him to SmackDown one night, and he sat there on Chris's lap the whole time. We ate dinner together. Myself, Chris, and Chris's little son. And Chris wasn't working because he just had his neck fixed. He had a big scar on his neck, so he brought the youngster with him, and he was hanging out with him the whole time. So when someone told me that he killed that kid, I couldn't believe it, and I still don't believe it. I swear that may be the facts that they came up with are the best way to wrap it around it, but I just can't believe in my mind that Chris would do something like that to that little boy as much as he loves him. I was unthinkable, and it was no matter how you look at it has nothing to do with wrestling or anything. It's just a world and people. It's a sad situation when someone's life is taken, especially a child. So people say that hate Benoit and they don't want to talk about him. I can't see that way because the man had never done anything to me, and I had never seen anything out of him but a nice, respectful, loving father and husband. So I can't say a bad word about the man, except that, if that's how things went down, he'll be judged by a better person or entity than I. God will have to judge him, and that's how it's going to be played out. But it was sad when that happened. It wasn't just sad for the wrestling business. It was a sad day for the world and humankind in that period. It was just terrible.
I think that's why most wrestling fans still talk about it today, because we were just fans. We didn't know the guy personally, but I know when I heard it on the news, I wanted them to find someone that had done the murder and not blame it on Chris. I really wanted it to be proved that they were killed by a third party, but it's going to be like Kennedy. We're never going to know the truth. We can only surmise what happened.
Right, Andy, the whole thing is like this. It's like the only person that really knows is Chris Benoit, and he's not talking. So, that's the truth.
Let me ask you one question about the Benoit situation. The WWE obviously has completely, for the most part, blacked him out of the history. Do you think that's the right decision?
Perfect example, Rick. WWE is airing Super Brawl 7 on their WWE Classics on demand, and there was a perfectly good match with Chris Benoit and Kevin Sullivan at that card, and WWE completely took that out of the card.
Yeah, I don't think that's right. I don't think. Since when does WWE have the right to rewrite history? That's what they're doing. I mean, some people may not have liked Adolf Hitler, but guess what? It happened, and you have to report on it.
Yep.
Some people may have not liked, John F. Kennedy, but he was part of history. You have to report on it. Some people may have not liked Nelson Mandela, but you have to report on it. So, I mean, I think it's pretty sad that, they're deciding to rewrite history and take the man's lifelong achievements out of what he's done. You cannot take away the career that he had, the matches, and you can't take away the great matches that he had because of something that happened to him personally. I mean, the guy was one of the greatest athletes and wrestlers ever. But that's Vince McMahon. He likes to play God. Vince McMahon likes to play God.
Do you feel it's a shame nowadays when fans talk about Chris Benoit, the very first thing that comes to their mind is the incident that happened with his family?
Sure, it's terrible that they don't say, instead of saying, when you say Chris Benoit, the first thing they should say is, wow, one of the greatest light heavyweights of all time, become a legitimate heavyweight, be a world heavyweight champion, when everyone told him he was too small to do it, and he did it. Vince McMahon didn't want to make him the World Heavyweight Champion because Vince hates little guys. Vince hates short guys. You know, he couldn't stand the fact, you know, the fans loved Chris Benoit, and he was one of the greatest entertainers that they ever had. But, you know, it was easy for him now to write him off because Vince didn't like the little guys to begin with. He wanted everyone to be 6'10", 300 pounds of muscle, and that's not Chris Benoit.
No. Fair enough.
3, 2, 1, mark. This is the original hardcore chair swinging freak of ECW, the one and only Axel Rotten, and you're listening to the greatest, most hardcore on the internet and all over the world. That's the place to be for wrestling news and commentary. That's hardcore wrestling radio. Don't turn it off, or I'll have a steel chair around your head.
Oh man, awesome! Thank you.
There you go, guys. Is that okay?
That's awesome, dude.
Perfect.
Did you like how I turned into wrestler voice when I did that?
I did. That's awesome, dude. Thank you
Did
so
you,
much.
did you guys notice the difference in my voice between the promo voice and my real voice?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the made for TV voice right there, and this is the real voice. Like, I had a girl one time go, "How come you don't sound like you do on TV?" I said, "Because your legs are wrapped around my ears." Boom. Shut up.
Oh shit.
Oh, man.
Listen, actually,
Hey guys, listen, it was a pleasure, Rick. It was a pleasure, everybody. Andy, well, all you guys out there, this was a great time. I want to tell you right now, I had a great time on here. And if anybody asks me about this program, I'm going to say, if it's one of my friends that are in the wrestling business, I'm going to say you got to come on there with these guys because I sat there for almost 2 hours with them, and it was a great blast. I didn't feel like I was like running out of time or didn't have enough questions. Everyone was knowledgeable. You guys are respectful. You're knowledgeable about the wrestling business. You have an entertaining program, and I'll let you know, this isn't the first time I listened to you. I went back when I found out I was going to be on here and listened to an episode or two from before, and they were really interesting. So you guys have a good thing going here, and you're 100% Axel Rotten certified. And if you don't like hardcore wrestling radio, I will come to your house and put a chair around your head. So we are certified, Axel Rotten approved. This is a great fucking show.
Thanks a lot, Axel. You know, and like I said, anytime you want to come on, you are welcome on the show. And even if you want to come on, just even on via Skype, it's hardcore.crew1. And you just want to come on and just shoot the shit with us, even just, you know, to hang out, feel free, dude, you know, because you are hardcore radio certified.
Is it the number one or the letter, the crew
No,
O-N-E
number
or the
one.
number one?
Number one,
Okay.
hardcore.crew1, all lowercase.
Right. And mine's easy too. Mine's just like Axel ECW Icon. So you want anyone to hook me up on Skype, it's Axel ECW Icon. I'm really easy to get a hold of. You want to check me out on Facebook? It's just Axel Rotten. It's facebook.com/Axel Rotten, AXLROTTEN. I'm on Twitter at Axel Rotten ECW. So I'm out there for the fans and anyone that wants to get a hold of me. If any questions, feel free to do so. I'm going to get out of here right now, guys. You guys got a way to get a hold of me. If you ever need me for anything, I'll be more than happy to come back on the show and do anything you guys want. Find me via Twitter, Facebook. I know Andy knows how to get a hold of me. You guys, Rick, you got my home number. You know how to reach me. So I want to say it's a great time for everyone out there. I'm 100% blessed to be here with you guys, and I'm going to get out of here right now. But again, thank you so much for this great time. And you guys keep kicking ass for what you're doing because you got a good show going here. And I'll talk to you next time. See you guys.
See you then. Thank you,
Axel. Thanks very much.
Tonight's interview with Axel.